No, man, but you got to keep going. What am I going to do, quit? That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it? You make it work for you. You never give up, man. That's my philosophy.
Hey, gardeners. Hope you're all having a great week out in your garden. I'm just out here looking around at our back patio, checking out all of the great things that we've got growing on out here. Lots and lots of different things. Look at all these peppers. There's a new one right there coming out. And we got some new tomatoes as well forming up on our tomato tower. Some eggplants. Oh, look at this. There's a nice watermelon hanging there. Or actually, no, that's a cantaloupe. Yeah, lots growing on. I hope that your gardens are growing really, really awesome as well, too. Again, we've got a great show for you here today. So, all right, everyone, let's get growing. All right, all my passionate plant people and garden enthusiasts, welcome to the Let's Get Growing show here on the Urban Gardener channel. I'm Enoch, I'm your host today, and we've got a really great show ahead for you here today. We have back with us our good friend Kaye Kittrell from the Late Bloomer channel, and we're talking with Natalie from the Fresh Princess here in just a few minutes. So definitely stay tuned for some of these great guests that we have here for us today. And if you can, right here at the top of the show, let's go ahead and click that thumbs up. Let's hit the like button real quick. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Bell notification to be notified of all of our upcoming videos and live stream shows. Definitely share with all of your friends out there. Let them know about the Let's Get Growing show here on the Urban Gardener channel every Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. for those of you over in the UK, as well as bright and early, 4 or 5 early over there in Australia. But we definitely appreciate all of you taking your time to come and join with us here live on the show. And definitely a big huge shout out though to all of you who are watching us on the replay. Thank you so much for taking your time as well throughout the week to catch up with what we've got growing on here on the show. And definitely drop into the comment section below for all of you replay watchers. Let me know you're here. Let me know what you've got growing on. How's the growing season growing for you? Or any suggestions, thoughts, or just drop in and say hi. I love to hear from all of you. So definitely get into that comment section below. And if you are here with us live and you have any questions or comments, definitely drop into the live chat and join in with all of the gardening community here on the Let's Get Growing show. And also to follow all of those links down below in the description to our guests. Go over to one of their videos or live streams or posts or something like that and let them know that you saw them here on the Let's Get Growing show. And definitely go and support them. And, they come and hang out with us each and every weekend and talk with us and all of that. So it's a great way to support them for joining us on the show as well, too. So definitely thank you all so much for doing that. And like I said, we got lots of great things growing on lately here on the show. I mean, I'm back in studio this week. So if you all were with us this last weekend on the show, we went out on our very first live at an event show, did a live show. We had lots of great guests. It was really awesome. Awesome experience, really, to tell you the truth. I didn't know how well it was going to work out, but everything seemed to go really great. And it was a really fun show. So you'll definitely want to go back and check out our show last week, the Live at the Fig Fest. So, and check that out. And also, actually, what I did prepare for all of you here right at the top of the show is just a little video clip of some of the little experiences there at the Fig Fest. And I apologize, it does have another intro in it, but check this out. Hey gardeners, hope you're all having a great week and everything's growing great in your gardens. We are here live at the Fig Festival. There's Priscilla from the Fig Hunter, and everybody's gathering and getting their figs and enjoying the festivities here. And we are just about set to go live right here at our very first live event. So, all right, everybody, I hope, again, you're having a great week. And all right, let's get growing.
What is the fifth largest economy in the world or some
Right,
crazy
exactly.
statistic?
Yeah.
But this county, 1 in 5 are below the federal poverty level. So how are we going to do that? We're going to plant trees. We're going to plant gardens, one seed at a time. We're going to change the world, one thought, one conversation, one seed at a time.
Yeah.
And it's free.
Yeah, I love
So that's
the idea
easier.
of your organization.
To show what the commercial side of beekeeping looks like, because I think there's commercial beekeepers are sometimes frowned upon because they believe that we don't care about the bees,
Right.
which that's total opposite. We really do care about the bees. We try to find better ways to beekeep, especially nowadays. It's really challenging. So our focus on our channel is showing that side of how much love and care we actually put into our business and the bees.
Say 600 different varieties.
Yes,
So they're different individuals that
yes,
you
they're
have.
individual.
So can you tell us, like, I mean, I know you can't list out all 600, but tell us some of your favorites that you have out of those 600.
Well, I grouped them into different fruit categories. Like we have the citruses, we have the stone fruits, we have pomegranates, we have jujubes, and apples. So those are the various kinds. Also persimmon and figs, of course.
Oh, of course, got to have the figs.
In order to fit the 600 cultivars, I do multi-grafting. Multi-grafting is where you put together in one tree all different kinds of fruits.
Yeah,
So my yard, actually my trees, I have only a few trees,
yeah.
but each of them, they contain between 10 to 175 different kinds of fruit in one tree.
Really how, there's just so many different avenues of horticultural therapy, and one of them is like teen intervention programs and things, getting kids into gardens so that they can kind of just learn a different set of skills in life, and gain some again, just a better sense of the world through gardening, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, they're especially in places where you have more trouble. People
Yeah.
are separated from the things that can lead them in the right direction, right? If you're really wanting to increase your production, then grow a bunch of things specifically to burn it. Because the wood that we're burning, whether it's a fire fuels threat, whether it's brush or trees that died in the forest from a wildfire, we can still salvage the charcoal out of it by cutting it down and burning it complete the burn to a charcoal and quenching it and leaving it on the ground, which would actually filter the watershed, build up the carbon body of the soil, hold more soil moisture, increasing the next generation of life's ability to survive. So we'd be building drought tolerance, fire resilience, and improving a forest by incorporating the biochar into it.
The sounds, I would probably say. And so yeah, it's hard to put a label on the exact type of music we're bringing, but yeah.
For your like original stuff you're working
Yeah,
on
yeah,
and all of
it's
that?
more of in the indie sphere, just because, like I said, it's kind of like that soft rock blend of kind of modern pop, just with some other influences as well. So I think there's like a old and new mixture influence wise, but we have an original called The Case that we are performing that we're excited about.
Demonstrated by your hands. I traded my setup for failure. Free will, free mind, obey what's right, surrender. Surrender. Free will, free mind, obey what's right, surrender. Here's the case of the mess you made in my heart.
Hey gardeners, thanks for tuning in to our show today. We'll be right back at it here in just a moment. I just wanted to take a second here to highlight our regular videos and features here on the Urban Gardener channel. Our weekly garden journals, and our incredible featured visits. All right, there we go again. What a great show last Saturday at the Fig Festival. So definitely, if you get a chance and you haven't seen that show, go back and check out our live at the Fig Festival show last Saturday. It was so much fun to just get that experience in, and hopefully down the road we're going to get an opportunity to do more things like this, to go out to some live events and do some shows and interviews right live from some of these really cool different gardening events. And also too, I'll just mention, we did a visit with the Fig Hunter. The Fig Hunter put on our Fig Festival that we went to and invited me down. And I went and did a really great interview and look around all around their fig farm and talked all about fig grafting and all sorts of things about caring for figs and everything. In that video, you can go back to our video page and check that video out as well too. But yeah, again, just so much fun. It was really awesome. And it was really great, again, too, to have all of you there to help support me during this event. I really, again, like I said, I didn't know if this was really going to go off well. We've had some technical issues that have popped up here, especially with the cameras and things. So I didn't really know how it would go, how the connection would stay going, but it really, really did go off really well. So again, thank you all so much for showing up and being a part of that. And again, if you haven't checked it out, go and check that out as well too. Right on. Let's jump right in and say hi to some folks here. We got in the chat today. Let's see here. We've got, of course, our friend Jay Dixon joining us from Huron County. up in Midwestern Ontario. Thank you, Jay. Jay is our show facilitator, so definitely keep an eye out in the chat there for different links and such to different things and topics that we're talking about today. And if you do have a channel and you're joining with us and you haven't had a shout out before, or it's been a long time since you've had a shout out, definitely drop into the chat there. Let us know, and Jay can drop in a link for your channel as well too. But let's see who else we got here. Oh, I was mentioning too that we're out live to the whole world. One of our good friends, Rick, is joining with us bright and early from down under in Australia. Great to see you, Rick. And I see Hetty in the conversation as well too. Thanks for being here. And I'm sure Hetty's joining us from Kaye's channel, because that's another thing too. It's that Kaye's actually streaming this show right now out on her channel as well too. So thank you to all of you who are joining in from Kaye's channel as well. Thank you so much for being here. Really awesome to see you. And I saw early in the show there we had Janet in the chat, and MKP as well too. Thanks for being here. I see Rob's joining us. Rob's Allotment Gardening from over in the UK. Great to see you. And then we've got our good friend Paul from Guten Gardening in the conversation. Awesome. Big Wheel Dog as well. Right on. Oh, and I see we've got our sponsor, Charles from Ivy Organic, in the conversation. Yeah, I can't believe it's the last weekend of the summer. It's already fall. It's already here. I mean, the season has just cruised by. Now it's really harvest season. So I hope all of you, like I was saying at the beginning of the show too, I hope you've all had some really great gardens this year, and you're really getting a lot of really great things out of your gardens. Let's see. I see Jersey Girl here as well, and Ray. Great to have you here, Ray. Awesome. And then Eddie as well too. Excellent. Thank you for being here. Penny. Oh, and then I see we've got our guest coming up here in just a few minutes, Natalie from the Fresh Princesses in the conversation. And I think I saw Kaye in there as well too. And how you doing, Cowboy? Good to see you. And I see Shawnee in the conversation as well too. Right on. Excellent. So many great folks here joining with us. Thank you so much for taking your time here to be with us on the show. Let's see here. What we got? Another NC Ottoman 57. Awesome to see you. Sam, great to have you back here on the show. Thanks again, everyone, for being here today. Like I said, we've got a really, really great show for you here today. We've got some really, really great guests. And in the long run, too, it's really kind of one of our first real kind of official shows back, like as a full, real Saturday show. I mean, we've been dealing with like technical issues over the last couple of months and just kind of not getting things together for this Saturday show, but we're finally getting things right back on track. And so let's get jumping right into this here. And let's welcome in our first guest for today. So let's check out who we're following this week.
Are you following me? Are you following me, dude?
So all right, everyone. Let's welcome to the show. Oh, we coming on. Oh wait, let's see. Add on. Oh no. We're having some. What's going on here? Let's try this. There we go. I think StreamYard's changing some things on me while I wasn't paying attention. All right, Natalie, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Me.
Absolutely.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. It's really great to kind of be back on track here, like I was saying, with our show. And it's great to have you here on the show with us.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. And joining us from your awesome grow room too. So this is really great.
Yes.
Excellent. Let me give you a minute here to introduce yourself to everybody and let us all know about what you've got going on at the Fresh Princess.
Sure. My name is Natalie, and this is my grow tent. It is a 10 by 20 grow tent where I am learning to grow all of my own food or own produce aeroponically all year round. And I'm a couple years into the journey. I've got a few systems. I've got 5 systems total in the tent, and I grow things and anything between anything from lettuce to herbs to tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers. I'm trying it all. Some things I'm doing for the first time. I've got watermelon and strawberries and just all kinds of produce. It's very much a journey and an experiment all at the same time.
Right on, right on. Well, let's talk about that journey then. So, what got you, for one, into gardening, and then what led you to growing in this really amazing grow tent?
So prior to the inception of this grow tent, I had never gardened before ever.
Really?
I had never even had a house plant, maybe taken care of flowers here and there. But I was frustrated with the produce from the grocery store and the prices and the quality. And, with mass production comes heavy pesticides and things that aren't the greatest for your body. And it was important to me to kind of reclaim that food sovereignty. And being in Canada with the changing seasons, it can be challenging to grow during the winter months. I know there are certain things that you can grow, but so that's where the idea for this grow tent and indoor garden emerged, was in order to be able to grow during the winter months when you normally can't grow outside.
Wow, that's kind of an interesting start to a whole gardening experience for sure. I mean, I remember too, and it was a very similar for me, even though I'd been growing and doing things before. But I remember having that initial kind of thought of like, when I figured out I could grow my own food. That was a big thing because I've grown plants, house plants, my whole life, that whole thing, But when I figured out how to grow my own food, I was like, oh, this is where it's at, because ultimately, as you mentioned, again, food issues for one. There was a lot of things I was concerned with myself, But then ultimately, when it came down to it, is just when I grew something out of my own garden, it just tasted better than anything else that I could grow. Or that I could get at the market.
Nothing compares to homegrown. And at first I thought maybe, I'm just being biased, but it's true. When things are mass produced on such a large scale, it's very challenging to maintain the quality, the flavor, all that stuff that goes into good quality produce. So it's exciting to be able to do it on my own. It is definitely a learning curve, that's for sure. Indoor growing is a whole different ball game than traditional soil or outdoor growing, and it's
Yeah,
fun.
I mean, and again, too, for me, with all my experience over the years and everything, indoor growing is something. I've got a couple of friends who constantly try to push me to do some hydroponics and those sort of things as well. But it's been one of those things that's semi-intimidating with all of the different things that you got to do and all of that. So
I feel that way about soil.
Yeah.
I feel like soil is intimidating because I do have a soil garden as well, but it's much more intimidating to me.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I hear from folks too, who do mostly like hydroponic growing. My friend, like I said, my friend Kang Starr and Christopher Bransdahl, they kind of show up here every couple months and hang out and talk with us about that. And every time they're teasing me about getting started with it, I do actually. Most people can't see, but if you right here off camera in the back corner of this room here is like a 4x4 by 6 foot grow tent that I've had for years, and I've done different everything, but most of its years is spent being mostly like some growing storage for different things that I have. But it is my goal, hopefully this winter, to get some good lights in there and start trying to grow some of my own, hydroponics, maybe some other types of indoor stuff as well too.
You should try some peppers. Peppers do so well in hydroponics and aeroponics. And I know
Yeah.
you're into growing peppers, so.
Yeah, that is actually, so if there's anything that I've done and grown as far as a food or anything that I've actually grown indoors before, peppers are one of those. I've overwintered some pepper plants before and had some pretty good successes with them. Peppers are pretty resilient to a lot of different situations and grow really well. And yeah, so I've done that much, but I've got to expand out, and literally, I don't know if I could quite expand out to the level you are and what you have in your grow tent. Let's talk about this grow tent that you've got a little bit here.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've got a little 4x4x6, but this is a whole room you've got. First off,
Yes.
where in the world did you put this thing?
So this is in the basement.
Okay.
And it's definitely become a tight space now because it's just become, the entire space pretty much. But yeah, the grow tent is indoors, of course. And yeah, like I said, I've got 5 aeroponic systems. I can take you through a little walkthrough if you're interested. I can give you guys...
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to show us around a little bit, if the connection works all right, then yeah, let's look at something.
Yeah, I don't have any issues. So yeah, I'll just show you guys really quickly. Just bucket systems with tomatoes, and then
So how is that system set up there, real quick?
So it's a recirculating Dutch bucket system. So there's a reservoir with water.
Okay.
Each bucket connects through a center column where the water returns, and they're all connected through a series of lines that mist the roots periodically. So the roots are suspended in air, and they just get misted for a few seconds every couple minutes.
Okay, right on. And what is it that you've got growing in there, real quick?
I've got tomatoes, strawberries, watermelon, peppers, eggplant.
Oh wow! Look at all
Dahlia
that.
flowers. I'm trying to do it all. And then we have our grow tower, lettuce, herbs. The yellow tower will be filled with strawberries as soon as I...
Could you show us that tower real quick so we can get a look? I want to get a look.
Oh
at
yeah,
that
of
real
course.
quick.
Yeah, so it's 80 plant quarts total.
Okay.
I've got parsley, basil, sage, and little baby romaine seedlings that I just started last Thursday. These started from seed last Thursday, and they're already growing so quickly.
So what is that you have the plant, the baby plant put into? Is that like a little foam or something?
Yeah, it's just a foam collar. I don't use grow medium, just these little foam collars, and that's it.
All right. So how do you get your seeds started then?
So I use either the paper towel method, where you just moisten or dampen 2 pieces of paper towel and lay your seeds out and sandwich it with another piece of paper towel on top. Sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon to prevent any mold growth. Or I've been trying a new way where I actually put the seed in the center of those foam collars that I showed you. And then it's just something new I've been trying to see if I can start the seed in the same medium where it'll eventually grow, so I don't have to transfer it or do anything, and I could just pop it in its grow tower and off it goes, or off it grows.
Right. Excellent. Yeah, that is pretty neat. Like I said, and what kind of towers? Is this a certain brand of tower, or have you tried different ones?
So this is actually a tower that I worked with a manufacturer, a hydroponic, aeroponic manufacturer, and we worked together to create these. So these towers are actually available on my website. I do sell the towers. I'm working on a smaller version, but yeah, I mean, there's different towers available. There's different brands available, but it's a basic grow tower. It's just large. You can fit 80 plants in it, so a lot of lettuce for me.
A lot of greens, a lot of lettuce.
Yeah, it's really, if I start seeds every 3 to 4 weeks, and I have lettuce every night, a nice big salad every night for dinner. I'm harvesting every day, which is wonderful.
Yeah. Plus the tomatoes and cucumbers. Oh yeah, you got to have some good stuff coming out of there for sure.
Absolutely.
So 80 plants though too. So again, what are like some of the again, we mentioned cucumbers. Those are pretty good viners. How do you set those up? Is this something you would work like from the bottom up or something for different size of plants?
Yeah, so cucumbers I would typically put in the bucket system because there is trellis here that I've set up. And because they are so vining and more of an invasive type of plant,
Yeah, vines
I
for sure.
I usually grow them in the bucket system. But things like lettuce and herbs are okay in the tower. I've tried growing zinnia flowers. I've also tried growing tomatoes in the tower, but they just flop over. I could put a trellis up, and then I could put it anywhere in the grow tower, but probably somewhere lower because, you know, they get large and you want space for it to grow. But it's I'm still experimenting different ways to see how I can achieve the best product.
Yeah, let's see. I got a question for you from Rob. Rob asks, let's see if we can pop this up here. Yes, how many grow lights do you use?
So I have 2 grow lights above the main grow, which is the bucket systems, which are a total of 100 plant ports. And those grow lights are, they put out quite a bit of light. I think they're 730 watts. And then each grow tower has full spectrum, 12 full spectrum LED light bars.
Okay, all right.
So I have 3 grow towers, 12, so that's 36 lights for the grow towers and 2 lights for the main bucket system.
Right. And I suppose you probably get asked all the time about like what kind of energy use does this take up? I mean,
yes, so I actually just recently discovered that. I plugged in a meter to the main power source of my grow tent, and I'm consuming 2,000 watts. The tent is pulling when everything is powered on and at maximum strength, so the fans, the lights, 2,000 watts, 14 hours a day, which is 28 kilowatts. So it adds up.
yeah.
And I just recently, playing around with increasing my lights, trying to optimize things to get a better yield. And, the electric bill goes up and you're like, oh my gosh. So I'm going to be switching my lighting schedule to when it's daytime for the plant, it's actually nighttime for us, so that it's off-peak hours, so that the energy consumption is the same, but the cost per kilowatt is significantly reduced.
Yeah, that's a great way to do that. Excellent. So again, let's talk about some of those things that you're growing there. I know you were talking about some peppers. What did you have?
Yes.
I think you had a pepper plant to show, I think.
Oh yes, I wanted to. Well, I've now.
We got to get back out. There we go.
I realize that you've grown it before, but this is because I know you're into peppers. I wanted to share this. The Chinese 5-color pepper plant. 5 colors at once on one plant, which is super rare.
Yeah, I love that's one of my favorite, and I was mentioning to you before, is that I haven't grown it this year, but I've grown it for several years before that, and I got to do that next year though too, because one of the fun things to do in your garden is to grow some things that are just kind of fun and kind of bring some color as to your garden. And I love those Chinese 5 colors. I got seeds from a good friend, a listener who's been following along for many years, and they sent me out some seeds for them. And it's like having like a little pepper Christmas tree in your garden, right? You got a little Christmas lights going on.
It's beautiful. I love it. And they taste great as well. I use them. I've used it recently to make a chili oil, and that was amazing. So if ever you need a recipe for them.
Yeah, they are pretty spicy, aren't they?
They're very spicy. 30 to 50,000 units on the Scoville scale.
Yeah, they kind of took me by surprise when I first tried them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I know they say they're hot. They can't be that hot. And I was like,
ooh,
they lit me up into about 5 different colors. That's for sure.
Yeah. And then, I mean, these are also, since they're right next to me, speaking of color, this is my first time trying to grow dahlias in my aeroponic system. So these were my first ones that I just harvested 2 days ago.
And is this in the towers or the other setup?
The other setup. They're called Dutch buckets.
Yeah, the Dutch buckets.
I've never grown, because, dahlias are tubers.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, so it worked out quite well. So now I want to try things like potatoes, beets, radishes, root vegetables. That will be very exciting for me. So hoping to get into that.
Is there a way to set it up for like larger containers for like potatoes?
Yeah, so these containers are pretty large. I forget how many gallons they are, but I believe that I could grow a few potatoes in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it would be successful. It's an experiment I'm going to try. So to be determined. We'll see how it works. But root vegetables is definitely what I'm missing in the mix. I've got everything else. I just need the root vegetables.
Yeah, that would be great. Definitely got to follow along for that as well. Let's see. Rick was mentioning, have you thought about solar?
Yes, so it's something we've actually talked about. Well, actually, Wickershire, who's sometimes in the chat, we've chatted about it because he, specializes in that. And I don't know how it would work during the winter months with snow accumulation and stuff.
Right.
Like introducing solar panels. So yeah, I've definitely thought about it, but I haven't considered it to the point where I've researched it.
Right. It's got to be some way, or at least I guess you can't really bank the energy too long or what for winter time, but there's still some sun out there, but I guess you'd have to deal with the snow and keeping it off or finding a way to guard it in some way or.
Yeah, and then I wonder, if just the maintenance or the setup in general is worth. Will I be recouping the cost enough? Or will it be worth it? So right now I'm just considering switching my lighting schedule so that it'll reduce the costs. And then, succession planting and making sure I have a constant supply because the goal is to avoid the grocery store, right? So.
Yep. Yeah, really maximizing what you're able to grow kind of helps bring down what that cost is ultimately too, right?
Absolutely. So even, rather than starting seeds, taking cuttings for my tomato plants or cucumber plants, when I'm starting anew, it's a great way to make things happen faster and get faster producing and yielding plants.
Right on. So, how long ago? I don't know if we got that when I asked the first question, but how long ago did you get all of your content started? I mean, versus when you started doing this. I mean, was this a little while after you got going, or did you do it all together?
All together. So the day of my first Instagram post was the day. So my YouTube channel, I eventually put all the same videos up. But yeah, I started this channel to document the journey. I was totally new at it, and there's a lot of growers out there that are like me that have no experience but really they're interested in growing their own food. And so I thought, what a wonderful way to share my journey with people, and maybe they'll learn something from it, or maybe I'll learn something from them. And it's been fun documenting it.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot to, learning exchange that goes on in the gardening community for sure. And what a great way to get your gardening journey started by just getting right out there and sharing all this. Plus, I mean, just really, really fun, interesting way to garden versus what people are normally used to.
Absolutely. And it's a very, not complicated, but there's a lot that goes into it, right? There's so much to learn. Well, with any method of gardening, the learning never stops. And that's what I love about it,
Yeah, that again, too. That's why we have fun experimenting and doing things and trying different stuff all the time, because that is really the fun part of gardening, is trying all these different methods and things like that as well, too.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I have a lot of, I had a few times where I grew plants, for example, eggplants or tomatillos, things that have specific requirements where if you don't meet those requirements, you're not going to get any fruit. And so, I'm using resources and growing these plants. And I had it where I tried growing eggplants and tomatillos for 5 months. I had these plants and no fruit. So,
Oh no.
there's a lot of failures that go into this project. So it's still a bit of a learning curve, but
Yeah, well, definitely a great learning experience, and those failures are kind of how we figure out what works best for us, and how, again, too, to maximize what you're doing in order to, you know what I mean, to make the energy consumption a little more efficient for what you're doing. So, once you get those things down, you'll know what, I mean, your garden will be amazing.
yeah, absolutely. There's a lot. Even I just saw your Fig Fest interview with the beekeeper.
Oh,
And he's
yes.
talking about pollination, and it's honestly, I have to hand pollinate a lot of things in here, so I have a
That's
whole
right.
appreciation for that in itself, because that in
Mhm.
itself is a whole job that you don't consider when you're thinking indoor gardening, right?
Oh yeah, that's very true. That's something I wasn't even thinking about as well too, but that's a great point. I mean, it's you definitely don't want to be inviting a bee hive into your grow room to take care of those sort of things for you. But yeah, you do got to get out and actually hand pollinate all of that.
Yes. So I use paintbrushes or Q-tips or sometimes an electric toothbrush, but yeah, it can be quite a bit of work. And if I could, I probably would try to introduce some bees in here. But I've spoken to a beekeeper who told me that they would go nuts with the grow lights. They would actually not
yeah.
survive at all. So
Yeah, and
it's on
possibly
me
like
to do the
fan
job.
noise and things like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's not a proper environment for them, and
yeah,
got to protect the pollinators, So
that's right. We'll leave them to the outdoor growers, right?
absolutely.
But yeah, that's just so interesting. Again, too, all the different things that go into something like that, and just a really amazing grow space that you have there. Just really something else. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
When I found your channel, I was like, wow, this is just really awesome. I've never thought about something on that level.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's definitely a different way of growing. There's a lot of people that grow indoors, but it's like I said, a huge learning curve. And I do grow outdoors as well, but mainly just flowers. I grow like zinnias, dahlias.
Okay.
It's there aren't that many parallels because I'm not exactly too familiar with the chemistry of soil and what nutrients you need, whereas here you're recreating the outdoors. Everything needs to be supplemented and added in yourself, and it's got to be done in the right order, in the right amounts, in order for your plants to thrive. So even though it has its benefits because you can manipulate the environment to get more tomatoes faster,
Yeah.
there's so much to consider. It's very easy to screw up your entire run or your entire grow, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. And so what are there other things you're looking to try in this indoor environment, or any types of experiments you're working on at all right now?
Yeah, so I would love to try corn.
Oh, wow, that would be
Yeah, but with the whole pollination concept, I think they need to be in rows, multiple plants, so that they can cross pollinate
right.
each other. Coffee, the coffee.
Oh yeah.
plant, I have some coffee beans, like some fresh ones that we're gonna germinate. I was just researching them last night. It takes like 2 years before it even starts producing, so got to start that.
Yeah,
There's a
you gotta
bunch of
check
stuff I
out
want to try.
You got to check out my friend Christopher Bransdal over on YouTube there. He
Yeah.
gardens in a grow room up in Norway, and he's been real successful with doing coffee in a hydroponic system as well too. So I mean, you definitely want to check that out for sure.
I've seen a few places that produce coffee, like companies that do it hydroponically just to save on costs because it's so effective.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's, goji berries, golden berries, mulberries, blackberries, blueberries, berry bushes all
Yeah,
together.
that would be so fun.
Those are things I want to try. But again, because everything shares one system, you have to group things together that have the same requirements. So it can get a little challenging.
Yeah, and I was gonna say though too, and you were mentioning kind of like how, with the indoor system, you can manipulate and do certain things in different ways. And corn out in a field, sure, in our backyard gardens need to be grouped up so that they can help pollinate each other. But you're already hand pollinating all of your other things. So if you had at least the height for some good corn plants, then you could collect that pollen yourself and be able to brush that pollen onto any ears that might form. So again, hand pollinating with corn. So you wouldn't have to have as many or grouped together as you would if you were in an outdoor garden.
Yeah, for example, like with my strawberries even, you can use different tools, right? I've got a fan directly blowing on the strawberry plant just to try to move some pollen around to see if that'll help reduce my responsibility.
Right on. Well, excellent. This is so, again, so amazing and really awesome to check out and see this really great indoor garden. And before I let you go, let us know what you got coming up or what you have growing on there at the Fresh Princess.
Yeah, so root vegetables in the very near future. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to be working on a YouTube series focusing on that. People seem to be really interested. What's coming up next is this tower is going to be just filled with strawberry plants.
That's awesome.
Plants for the garden, just full force in the winter, growing all the things that normally you can't grow in the winter months in Canada, and just having an abundance of produce and flowers. So stay tuned and,
For sure, for
we'll
sure.
see
And like I
how
said
things
too,
go.
that's another thing as well too with that type of system as well, is that you're year round. It doesn't matter what time of year you can be growing anything that you're talking about at any time, right? That's just really a real benefit of that system.
Yes, yeah. So it's exciting to, while everyone in the winter has downtime from their gardens, I'll be in full force. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be nice to have things also that are off season, strawberries and such. Well, now they have greenhouse grown, but
more tomatoes and all of those cool summer crops and everything growing in the wintertime.
Yes, so that's going to be exciting for me. So I'm looking forward to that. And in terms of what's coming new, I'm working on just a smaller version of the towers, something more accessible for anybody.
Smaller spaces.
Growing smaller spaces, yeah.
Smaller grow tents like I got.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that would take up the whole space in my grow tent.
You know what though? Because it's vertical, you end up saving space anyways.
That's true. That's very true. All right. One quick last question though. Shawnee dropped in here. She says, speak more if she follows methods or varieties that NASA and space station grow in their programs. Have you ever checked out or researched any of that sort of stuff?
All I've seen are articles here and there. I've never dove deeper into them. That this is the technology that they're doing now.
Yeah.
Space for growing crops, but I have yet to research it or understand it. So not yet, but I should tap into that because they've probably got some valuable information that will help me on my journey.
Vice versa as well too. I mean, you could be on the precipice of some great information and knowledge that you're gaining right now that they could use. Because again, I've talked about this before, as I'm working on hopefully a show with someone from NASA to talk about some of this stuff. But the idea of traveling or doing any sort of colonization of the moon or Mars or whatever these great science fiction ideas that we have right now, would require food growth. And so that is really a big part of any sort of mission that they make, is how would they be able to, grow food and keep food in production during these sort of missions. So
I
Yeah,
get
really.
people telling me all the time that I should go work on Mars. I'm like,
Right.
sure, I'd love
Right.
to. I'll take a job.
Yeah, yeah. And you never know. You might get a call from them. Either that or again, you're from Canada and probably your Canadian space program as well, too.
Yes, for sure.
Well, right on. It is just so awesome to have you here on the show with us today. So glad to have you here to talk all about this really amazing grow space that you have. So again, thank you so much for spending your time here with us today. And for everyone else too, we got links down below so that you can go and check out Natalie on her YouTube page and Instagram as well too, where she shares tons and tons of just really amazing videos and reels about this just really awesome grow space.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and you have a wonderful community, a wonderful show, and I really appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Can't wait to have you back again. So thanks for being with us here today, and we'll see you real soon.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
Betcha.
Hi, my name is Charles Malky, biologist and plant expert with Ivory Organics, where we grow cool plants, and author, Saving the World with the Home Garden. Ivory Organic 3-in-1 Plant Guard has 7 natural oils that protect your plants, not just from the summer heat as well as winter cold, but also protects your plants from damaging insects and rodents. The oils in the product include castor, cinnamon, clove, garlic, peppermint, rosemary, and spearmint. These oils are natural insect and rodent repellent oils, which are encapsulated by the base powder, offering your plants months of protection at a time. 1 application per year will suffice for protection against damaging summer sunburn and winter sun scald, but if the target is pests, application as much as 2 to 3 times a year may be necessary.
All right, all right. Again, how awesome is that? What a great growing space that is there. Just so many really cool things growing on in Natalie's garden there. And like I said, go and check out the link down below so that you can go and check out everything that she's got growing on. And let's talk a little bit about what we've had growing on around here lately. Last week, we were at the Fig Festival, as I mentioned to you guys earlier. And I'll just mention, we didn't have our Sunday show, our usual Sunday show with Gardner Scott. He'll be back on for our second Sunday of the month this next month. So definitely catch up with Gardner Scott here on the Let's Get Growing show this next month. But the Sunday before that, we had a really great conversation with our new regular, Dr. Jeff. Dr. Jeff Pierce joins with us every couple months now to talk about gardening as medicine. And we had a really great conversation about gardening kind of as exercise. And we're going to tap into all sorts of different aspects of how gardening can really improve our health in the long run, as well as all of the great food and things that we get from our garden. So definitely want to go back and check out that conversation with Dr. Jeff, and then we'll look forward to seeing him again here real soon on the show. And then the Sunday before that as well too, we had on our good friends from the Garden Party podcast. We had Destin and Phil and Dez and Josh joining with us here for a really fun conversation. Their show is always a great watch. So definitely go and check out the Garden Party podcast on our Sunday edition of the show just a couple weeks back. You can go to our live page to find those different shows there as well too. I have a garden tour that I put out on our video page, so you can go back and check that out as well if you want to, where I take you around to go and look around all of our different gardening spaces and to see all the different things that we have growing on out there. And as I've mentioned too to folks, our garden this year wasn't necessarily planned to be like big and have all the sort of things that have grown. There were a lot of things that I didn't grow that I usually grow. But if you see that very opening clip, you can kind of get an idea there. The garden's just growing really amazingly. We've got tons and tons of different things growing on. So much, in fact, that I actually had to break up that garden tour into 2 different parts. So there's a part 1 and a part 2 of our gardening tour on our video page that you can go and check out. and as well as a whole bunch of other things. Our pepper series, I did have our rooftop peppers part of our pepper series on just recently, and also I've got a new one coming out here as well too, where we're going to talk about isolation and one of my plants that I've been actually kind of breeding out my own version of a certain type of pepper as well too. So you want to stay tuned and watch that one when it comes out here real soon as well. Hopefully this next week we'll get that out for everybody. So all right, it's about time we get moving on here again today. We've got to just hopefully we're going to see our next guest in here. Make sure I've got everything else set up here as well too. Like I said, I think StreamYard kind of changed something out on me as well too when it comes to how we're selecting and bringing people in here. But as soon as I see our guest on camera there, we'll get moving along with that next part there. But yeah, definitely go and check out those upcoming videos. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's see here. Too much quiet time as I'm trying to get this here. I hope that everything's all right. I just don't see your camera set up on yet, so we'll just hold on there for a moment. All right. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get moving here, and we'll go ahead and move on with our next segment. Of course, we've got to welcome in our featured guest.
You never know when you might learn something, and that's what this is about for me. These are people that I admire. Please welcome my next guest.
All right. So let's welcome back to the show our good friend, Kaye Kittrell from Late Bloomer.
Hello.
Great to have you on with us.
You couldn't see me, remember?
Yeah.
Why?
You had the cover on there. That's what
I
I
had
was
my
wondering.
tape. I forgot. I have my tape on my camera. I always keep it there.
Yep. Right.
Hello,
Excellent.
everyone. I'm back. Nice
You're
to see you all.
back. It's so awesome to have you back with us.
I know. It's great to
Right
be here.
on.
Thank you.
So how have things been going, Kaye?
Oh gosh, gardening wise, it's just, I took on so much, and I already had so much. And then this year I just had this crazy idea to add 2 more gardens to my gardens. For those of you who've
Oh,
never
really?
seen me before, I have a 5,000 square foot garden. That's my main crop garden. And there's only a couple of perennials in there. And then I have a huge, it's more than 5,000 square feet. That's where my raised beds, terraces, and main orchard are. That we managed to get a deer fence around this year. So unless you have a deer fence, forget it. You can't.
Oh my.
They eat everything. So, I mean, if things get bad enough, and we've had so much drought this year, that they would be eating absolutely everything if I didn't have. But we spent a lot of time in the spring putting a deer fence around that whole raised bed, terraces, and orchard, a deer fence around a new deer fence around the side garden. That's about 1,200 square feet. That's about, I don't know. I don't even know how big that is.
Wow.
It's probably 7,000 square feet over there. And then my flower garden, I put fishing line around it because I didn't have anything in there that, they don't really eat zinnias too much, which is great. And they don't eat marigolds, which is great. And they don't eat Mexican sunflower. And so that's basically all I had in there, except for some tomatoes and cushaw squash. And so I just put T-posts and fishing line around that garden. So every time you come into a situation, where you have deer pressure, that's the first thing you have to solve is how are you going to handle the deer? Because and then if you decide you want to grow something like corn, then you really have to figure out how you're going to deal with the raccoons. Now, I actually was so desperate to grow corn this year. I wasn't even going to grow corn because of the raccoons this year. And Gina, one of my fans, she said, "Oh, you should grow some Three Sisters." You know what Three Sisters is, where
Yeah, yeah. The
corn
corn
first,
beans and the squash.
squash. And so I gave in and I said, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that much. And I'll save the whole big corn area where I've always grown corn at the end, and the best soil. Corn needs good soil. A lot of compost, rich, nutrient-rich soil corn needs, and it needs support because they're tall and heavy and the roots are barely there. So
Yeah.
anyway, I decided I'm scrapping that, and I'm doing the corn up higher, less of the corn, and just see if I can get some corn out of it. And and then halfway through the growing, before I got to the point where I had corn that raccoons might like, I saw this short video on YouTube, and this guy was saying, he was talking about squash bugs, and squash bugs are horrible. I mean, they're absolutely ravage. Yeah, they ravage my squash, my melons, the whole thing. So I saw this video about using, and now I know mothballs are toxic. Okay, I know, but you know, you got to do something or you don't get anything. And so he was talking about, for squash bugs, you set up a gallon bottle of water. Well, you first you have to cut vents in the side. You need a lid. You need the lid, the plastic lid. And then you cut vents in the sides and bend them up so you've got a little airflow in there. Then you put, that's about halfway down. And then you put mothballs, like a handful of mothballs in the bottom, and you fill it up a third of the way with water. Now you got to remember, during the season, you know, if you have some dry spells, that water is going to evaporate. So you got to make sure you get water back in there, because the mothballs in the water with the heat hitting it, wow, it's strong.
Wow.
And so that, I am convinced, that is the only way. This is the first year I have not had raccoons eat my corn.
Oh,
and
wow.
Different corn planted in different places, in different situations. And I've used all the other methods, from radio to electric wire to, you know, training them on the peanut butter on the electric wire to I was even trying to save some corn last year, and I bagged it up in grocery bags and duct taped it. No, they bend it down and they tear it off and they eat it. And it's just, this is the first time. So I'm sold on it. And
see, they're just about as persistent as like squirrels are for, you know, a lot of us city gardeners too. Squirrels can
very bad for pears.
You could try everything and they just figure their way around it and still get to everything. And similar to the deer as well. Deer are the same way, just so persistent. They you know. So I was going to ask you real quick though about this deer fencing. It's like, what kind of, how do you set that up?
Just go to deerfence.com. I'm not an affiliate or anything. That's where I get all my fencing. And they have, you know, you can choose the opening of your squares. It's all, well, they have metal, but the problem with metal fencing is it's a lot more expensive, and when it bends, it's bent for life. And so I buy it's the nylon netting, and I buy the squares that are a little bit more open. But honestly, I'm looking down at my garden and you can barely even see it. You just don't notice it. And so here's my big tip for the year that I came up with, and I'm sure other people have too. But you've got to use T-posts, because it's the only thing that's going to work. Unless you want to buy expensive fencing poles or something. But when you use T-posts, they're always painted white on the top. And I guess that's because, you know, that signifies to a farmer where these poles are, so they don't hit them with a tractor or whatever. Well, I don't want to look out. This is my front yard.
Right.
And I don't want to look out and see a bunch of white topped poles. Right. Because then it just looks like farmyard. And so every time we redid all this fencing, and I painted. I just got the green paint from the store. That's exactly the color of the bottom, and I just painted all the tops, and they just disappear.
Oh, wow.
You don't even notice them. That's my
Okay,
big
yeah.
buddy.
Get
If
rid
you
of the white top so that you can just,
paint
so
'em.
it just blends in. Is it
Paint
like
'em.
they're a green color, right?
It's like a forest green, you
Yeah.
know. Once you buy your T-post, just look at that and go in the store and get something that matches it. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's just I had 3 I have a four-wheeler, and I have two of those milk jug basket, well, whatever you call those plastic crate things. I have those sitting on the front of the four-wheeler, has a grid on the front and the back where you can set stuff. And so I have, this is a real tip, I have 2 of those milk crate things, and they're all bungee corded to the front of my four-wheeler. So I have, and then in that, I have a thing for hand tools, like garden hand tools. And then I have a thing for screwdrivers and pliers and a wire cutter and a wire and everything you can think of that you might need. And I have it in there all the time. Sledgehammer, it's a hand, and a hammer and just everything. And then on the back, Home Depot, or, the box stores, they sell these things like, they're called mixing trays. So you can mix up a little bit of concrete or whatever you're doing. I've been using these since my California garden. It's great
I
for
use
mixing
those
up
too.
a lot of you use them to potting soil or anything. So and they only come with one hole on one side, one lip of it, and I guess that's just to hang it on the wall, right? So I drill 2 holes on either side of these trays, and then I bungee cord it to the back. So, I have a big place, and my 5,000 square foot garden is 200 feet from my house down the hill. And so if you're not going to want to be lugging, not when you're older, you're not going to be want to run it up and down that hill 10 times. Oh, I forgot the screwdriver. Oh, I forgot the shovel. Oh, I forgot this. It's just no.
My garden shed in my carport is literally only like 100 feet from most all of my garden, and I still don't want to have to keep walking back and forth
I
to get
know.
things.
I know.
I can't imagine having to travel a distance for sure.
Yeah, like we were down at the garden today, and I know it was yesterday or something, and I said, "Hey, can you get that?" I took the whole Sweet Annie. Sweet Annie it reseeds like crazy. It's fantastic. It's the best smell you will ever have in your garden, Sweet Annie.
Sweet Annie,
But
huh?
it grows like a Christmas tree. It's the size of a Christmas tree. One tiny little seed will make a Christmas tree. And so it reseeded from last year, and this year the whole side, it like 9 feet tall. I had a whole row. I mean, when I say a whole row, I'm talking about 4 times 4, 16, 20 feet long, a whole row, one right after another of Sweet Annie. And
Are these a perennial or
no,
or an annual? You got to grow them each year.
Annual.
So they grow that fast, and just you can grow them. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, they're like 9 feet. It's 7 to 9 feet. Usually more, they top out more like 7 feet. But I said, okay, save one and take the rest of them out. And he said, well, I said, I got the bypass pruners on the four-wheeler, just like things you're going to use, you might use, just keep it on the four-wheeler. That's my thing. So, this summer I always had the green paint can, and I'm going, oh, there's another one I missed,
Oh, yep. Yeah, you cover it up.
I'm telling
But
you,
real quick though, too, before I forget or move
Yeah.
on, how tall are those fences, those T-posts and fences you got to make for those deer?
7. You got to make them 7.
You got to make them tall, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can even buy a T-post that's over 8 feet. And 8 feet, you need a tall person, and you got to walk it back to get an 8-footer in. You got to walk it back at an angle, put the pounder on, and walk it up, and then still pound it down. So that only gives you a 7 foot.
Or get up on your four-wheeler, right?
No, 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 no,
No.
no. You've got to be stable when you're slamming that thing down, and it's got to go straight.
Mhm.
You don't want them crooked. You don't want to look
Yeah.
out and go, "Oh gosh, they're all going this way," you know. And the ground
Right.
does shift too. The ground does shift too. You'll have it all straight when you get it first done, and you'll look out there and go, "Well, why is it like that now? What's like that?" You know, it's like, no, you don't want to have the extra expense. They're not going to jump over 7 feet. You know,
Yeah.
they're just not going to do it.
But yeah, you
So
want to at least tall enough to make sure they're not getting over it because they will. It's amazing. I mean, 7 feet, but I mean they can jump like 5 feet. They can really do some
well,
crazy
here's the
leaps.
thing. Ask me anything about deer fencing. I can tell you because I've
Right.
done it all. I've tried it all. And it's like the thing is, you can't bring it down to the ground and make it neat
Yeah.
because of weeds. And
Mhm.
now over here this year, what I did over here, because you're not going to keep raccoons or anything like that out with a deer fence. You're only
Yeah.
going to keep out deer. That's it.
Mhm.
So I didn't even bother to secure. I used zip ties to put it all around. We did to put it all around, and I just came down to about 2 feet from the ground with the zip ties, and I just let the rest of it go down like a skirt. I buy a
Okay.
longer, taller roll of deer fencing than the 7 feet. I buy 8
Mm.
feet. And
Yeah.
that way I've got an extra foot and it goes down. Well, it goes down like that, like a skirt, right? And
Okay.
so when it's and then in addition to that, I put I think it was 3 or 4 feet, 3 or 4 foot weed cloth. And I cut a slit. So I slid this weed cloth. So I had a foot of weed cloth inside the garden and 3 feet outside the garden, and then I staked it all down. And then I just dropped this deer fence. I draped it down over the weed cloth, and then it worked out great. So that's a tip if you're struggling with that, because if you bring it straight down and you don't have weed cloth underneath, oh my gosh, by the end of the season, the weeds are this thick and this
Growing all over your
side of the
fencing and
fence.
yeah.
It's impossible. And last year, my deer fencing was shredded from the weed whacker. So the cats knew all the
Right.
holes, and I'd be in the garden, and they would see me, and they would just come straight through the fence because they knew exactly where all the slits were. You know, it's like, okay,
Right.
this is ridiculous. I took all of the deer fencing down earlier for over there this year, and all of that's new over there. So, yeah, deer, that's number
Yeah.
one. You got to
Number one.
once you get set with deer, then you can
Mhm.
start thinking about what you want to do in the garden. You know.
Yeah, because it just becomes fruitless for a while, because if you're not doing some sort of protection, those things are going to just eat up everything, and and that becomes a deterrent for continuing your garden space. So it's
Plus, I
really a
have
great idea to make sure you're doing that up front.
yeah, around my 5,000 square foot garden, I've got 5 rows of hot wire with
Mm.
8,000 volts, and the
Oh,
raccoons go straight through it. So do the
wow.
rabbits. So do the rabbits.
Oh my.
Because if your feet are off the ground when they touch the wire, there's no
Mm.
shock.
Oh, really?
So they just jump through.
They just jump right through.
And
Wow.
then birds sit on the hot wire. But it doesn't hurt birds to sit on the hot wire because they're not touching the ground.
They're not grounded.
Yeah.
Oh my. That's
Yeah.
wild.
It is. It is, and you can only go. I mean, you can keep going up higher, but it's expensive, and
Mhm.
your solar charger has to be able to power all of those lines. 5,000 square feet times 5 is 25,000 square feet, or not square feet, 25,000 feet long of hot wire that you're trying to power.
Wow, that's crazy.
You want it to shock enough to. So anyway,
So you were
that
saying that so for this year though, you got the deer taken care of, so you've expanded into some new garden space, taking on more gardening work.
Well, let me correct you there. I took on 2 new gardens, but they're not deer protected, so I'm having trouble. Yeah.
Okay. So you still
But
got
they're
to,
not food gardens, they're flower gardens mainly, and herbs.
yeah, and they're
One is
still
my
getting in
driveway
there on,
garden, which is wonderful, and one is my memorial garden for my mother and my sister. So
yeah. Well, those are great. So that's the next step then, is to work on how to protect those areas too then.
yeah, well, we're so close to winter now that
Next season.
they're eating my Rose of Sharon. That's how hungry and thirsty they are.
Oh, wow.
You know, yeah, the Rose of Sharon is a hibiscus, and it's beautiful. But I mean, but they eat the buds off and eat the flowers, and of course they eat the roses. They eat everything, you know.
Everything. It's from the folks I've interviewed about deer, because I'm lucky, again, I live in the city, so I ain't got to worry about the deer making it to my garden. But yeah, that's one thing I hear all the time, is that there's very few things they don't like to eat. And then, like you said too, kind of depending on how hungry they are too, they might even eat things they wouldn't normally eat if they were hungry
Well,
enough.
there's so much. It depends on where you are with the city. I mean, there's so many. Like when I went to Ashland, Kentucky, I used to do a lot of traveling and interviewing people with gardens. And I want to say her name was Judy Fannin. She was a great, legendary gardener in Ashland, Kentucky. Ashland, Kentucky is an interesting place if anybody ever gets up there.
Yeah.
They've got a landmark theater that's really cool.
Oh,
But
wow.
anyway,
That's like our Ashland. I have an Ashland that's just right down the road from me, here in Southern Oregon, and it's known for the Shakespeare Festival and all of its theaters. And it's
right. Yes,
yeah.
that's
So
right.
you know, if you find an Ashland, it's probably a nice little city.
Well, she lived in a beautiful old house in town, and
Mm.
she said the deer were worse in town, in the city, than
Yeah.
she had another garden out in the county. And,
Right.
you know, so
Yeah, that is the thing too. Whenever I go down there and visit, there's deer wandering around everywhere. And I don't know if it's just because maybe we're just a little more urban, as I live just right outside of our downtown area, so, but I know there's deer that probably going into the yards of folks that are just not too far away from you here as you move more towards the country. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of lucky that we got all the traffic in the city right around me and everything as well too.
I don't know if you call that lucky. I mean, I'm so happy to get out of the city.
Well, when it comes to deer and having to deal with all of that work and all that effort you guys got to put into when it comes to
I drove into Nashville for the first time since we put my mother to rest. And in last December, I hadn't been into Nashville proper. I used to go there every week or more often to see my mother as she got worse. But anyway, I drove in and I was in there to sign some documents. I'm going, I cannot wait to get home. So I'm telling you, once you get out of the city, I mean, I lived in New York Manhattan for 7 years, and then Los Angeles for 32 years.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, once you leave the city and you get in the country, you'll never go back.
See, I'm the opposite though. I'm a country kid who found the city, and I don't
Me
know. I mean, I like the country a bit, but
I'm small town Tennessean.
I just like things going
I
on
just
around
wanted
me,
the
I
big
guess.
lights of the city, but there are too many problems now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but let's talk about what you got growing on this year. So how ultimately did your main garden, how ultimately did that work out this year?
Great. I would say overall it was great. There were a couple of things that didn't do well, but I had the best melon year ever.
That's the same for me.
I had the best. I had the best corn year ever last year, but the raccoons ate it. So I have to say that this year I had less corn, but I had more to eat.
Some.
And I've got some in the freezer. And I didn't know this. Randy told me, and then somebody else told me too, that if you're getting it all in at once and you don't want to take the time to cut it off and put it in the freezer as and cook it up as cream corn, or niblets or whatever you call it. Then you can just leave it in the husk and wrap it up in a thick garbage bag and just shove it in the freezer, and
Oh
then
wow.
you can take it out and cook it up and it's almost like fresh. And so I had
Wow.
never done that. And so I've got 2 garbage bags full of that in the freezer, as well as 5-gallon bags of tomatoes if I ever get around to canning those. But now I didn't have as spectacular a year about tomatoes, but that was my fault. Tomatoes
Yeah.
need a lot of indeterminate tomatoes need a lot of maintenance. And
Mhm.
I sort of dropped the ball mid-season. We had so much drought. It was just like, I can't water it all. It's gonna
Yeah.
go. It's just gonna go. Had the best elderberry ever, but then that's because we made a fishing line deer fence around that. And if you do a fishing line for deer, you have to use at least 80-pound fishing line, because they'll break right through anything
Right.
less heavy. But yeah, best elderberry, best corn, best. I
I
had
have to
less.
agree with your tomatoes though too. It was a similar thing for me when it came to tomatoes. I've got to literally, a lot of our gardens are just mainly hand watered, and with tomatoes, I'm now at the point with all the different things I've tried to do over the last few years, with again so less rain than what we used to have. It's so really dry. I've got to get a timed out water system for my larger tomatoes,
Right.
because it's just too hard to keep up with making
know.
sure they've got enough water, or worrying about whether or not I'm giving them too much water. That water inconsistency for your larger tomatoes just can ruin tons and tons of them.
I learned this like my first or second year of gardening from I forgot. It was the Tomato Mania guy. Remember the Tomato Mania?
I think I do.
He said tomatoes like deep but infrequent watering. Now, if
Yeah.
you've got your tomatoes in a pot, that makes it harder to judge. So the
Yep.
best thing to do if you're doing that, if you're growing tomatoes in a pot, is to get one of those moisture meter. It's
Yeah.
got two probes that go in and it'll tell you if it needs water or not. And then because the top surface will be completely dry, but it may be wet underneath, and tomatoes like it to dry out before they
Mhm.
work with water. Yeah, but so I saw
But
Dusty.
then again, not too much, not too dry either, which becomes a problem for me as well too. I mean, I had a couple of plants that I think I forgot a day. It was 100 degrees, and man, those things started curling up like crazy and everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and
if you're
then
dealing with
again too, they drop all their flowers when it gets too hot. So
They don't like
there's
it
a
100.
lot of issues you can deal with in warm weather with tomatoes.
Tomatoes don't like 100 degrees. They don't. Dusty was saying about the birds. Yeah, the birds will get all your elderberries if you don't put them in bags. That's what
Yeah.
I did. Last year, I tried to cover the bushes with just insect netting, but they get
Yeah.
underneath. They get
They
underneath. The
they get
insects do. The birds don't, but the insects do. And so then you
oh,
take out the insect netting, and if there's any way to get in, I mean, when I harvested my elderberries last year,
mhm.
a 5-gallon bucket of water, and I shoved the clusters down in there, and all of the leaf hoppers and those, I forget the name, the assassin bugs, whatever those things are with the big
Oh,
back legs,
oh yeah.
all sizes, the babies, the juveniles, and the adults, they just floated to the surface. There were thousands of bugs. And so this year, as soon as the blooms fell off of the elderberries, I put them in silk bags and I tied it. And I had a much better crop this year than ever.
These are okay. So you're not talking about like a big bag that goes over the whole plant, but over
Here,
individual
here.
clusters.
I've got one right here. I'm just repurposing it today. I picked some beans today because we pulled the beans out. So this is what I used for elderberries. This is 12 by 16, I think, or about there.
Okay.
The smaller ones just don't work.
Mhm.
Amazon, these are all from China, of course, but Amazon sells, they have like 10 different sellers of these. They're not really silk, but it's a silk-like
Right.
bag. It's a very
Yeah.
fine weave. And if you put it around the whole cluster, and you tie, and then I tie it really tight. Sometimes I go around again the branch, and then I don't even open it down there. I just cut the branch right here and bring it back
Okay.
up. And then one morning I will just sit with all these bags, and I'll take them out, and it's very tedious. Elderberries are very tedious.
Yeah, but probably worth the work, you know, when you get a good harvest off of them, right?
I highly recommend that you as you harvest when you need to harvest. Don't wait because these are not quite done and you think, oh, well, I'll wait a little longer for those. No, take them when they're ready, you know, and don't let them shrivel up, and come and take them off and clean them and put them in the freezer. No matter if you only have this many, just put them in the freezer. And then
Yeah.
when you get all of them done, then you can thaw them out and make your elderberry syrup.
Yeah, yeah. I've got to
Made the
try
mistake
some elderberries sometime too.
Yeah, I made the mistake last year of doing that with elderberry. You know, I just left it in the refrigerator, and you go, well, gosh, now it's been 1 week, now it's been 2 weeks, now it's been 3 weeks, and the rest of them aren't done.
Right.
No, get them frozen as soon as you harvest that day.
And then do it all at once when you get them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So when they start ripening, it probably takes several weeks for like all of the different clusters at different times coming
Yeah,
right?
because each one's a different plant, you know,
Mhm.
and you'll see some big bushes, they'll have several clusters, and one plant may go faster than others. I don't even know why, but that's what happens.
Yeah, I got to try some elderberries. I got to add that to the garden for sure. We had
What else is good?
Greg Peterson from the Urban Farm podcast on a while back ago, and he moved out to North Carolina, I think,
How's
from
he doing?
Arizona. He's doing really well.
He had me on like in the very beginning in Arizona. Funny.
Yeah, you'll have to get back with him again. I think he's looking for guests right now, actually.
Oh, is he doing that? Okay.
Yeah. I just saw a post with him and talked to him the other night about that. So, yeah. But he was one of the things that he did with his new property, again, similar to you, going from a small urban space in Arizona to going out to North Carolina, where he's got, you know, a big, wider space in his home. And that was his big idea, was like, I'm going to get into elderberries and kind of have a small little elderberry farm.
Actually, I take that back. I had him on my on Lake Bloomer. He didn't have me on. I had him on. I remember now because we went around and I asked him questions about all of his stuff in Arizona there.
Yeah. I'm hoping to have, hopefully we'll have him back on here again here real soon in the next few weeks. I think the last time we had him on was like at the beginning of the year, like right at the beginning of the year in January. So it's about time we get Greg back on here real soon. But yeah, he's the one who kind of really convinced me, like, I need to try some elderberries out.
Yeah, it takes a good 3 years really to get, you know, if you buy a plant, I mean, you probably will have to. It takes about 3 years to get it to where it's going to produce a few clusters. You know, it just takes time. It's sort of like grapes, you know.
Yeah, or asparagus, right? That's something
asparagus,
yeah, my neighbors are like, that's the thing they were trying to set up. I think we're gonna set something up out in the front there so we can get some asparagus in the ground, because that's not something I haven't thought of trying, or I mean, I thought of it, but I mean, it's something like you said, it takes several years to get going. Plus, it's an in-ground thing, and this being a place that I rent, you know what I mean? It's not that feasible to just really set something up like that. But my owner is really into the whole gardening thing as well too, and they want to set up you know, asparagus and everything. So I was like, right on. We finally get some growing around here. So that's what we're gonna get that going this next year.
Yeah.
I lucked out with the person who bought this place for this a couple of years ago, because it used to be like some big company that bought it off from some family many years ago when I first moved here, and I started gardening, and they were okay with a lot of stuff, but as I expanded out, or I got onto the rooftop, or I did some other things, they started coming around going, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And I was like, oh man, you're stepping on my toes around here. I want to do all of these fun things, you know. And then I lucked out. I got a new owner, and he's like, no, let's do it. Whatever you want to do. Tear up the front yard, put the stuff back on the rooftop. Let's put in some asparagus. So we're really expanding out now and doing some really cool stuff. So
That's great.
yeah.
That's great. Well, what else can I tell you? Let's see. I tried this first time I've gotten a roselle plant because the deer always get the calyxes. Well, they eat the branches down, and then they always get the calyxes. So I've got some roselle in protected, behind the deer fence for the first time, and I noticed yesterday that I've got some blooms coming. So I'm just praying that we don't have a frost for at least a month,
Right.
because then it'll be over. And I've got, in terms of fall garden, I've got broccoli, Brussels sprouts, snow peas coming up.
Oh,
And I still
awesome.
got zinnias, and I still got zinnias and sulfur cosmos and all kinds of flowers, and I got so much. It's
Now, are
huge.
these fall starts, these brassicas you're talking about, these something that you started from seed a little while back ago and you get
Yeah.
into your garden?
Yeah, I
long-
started them for spring. And
Okay.
I thought, well, the cabbage butterfly laid eggs all over them, and even though I sprayed them, I covered them. I sprayed them, and then I covered them with insect netting, thinking I was good.
Yeah.
No. Those eggs were there, and they didn't
my-
care about the spray.
Yeah.
And so being covered, and I thought when we started having all this drought and these 90-degree temperatures in June, I thought, well, I hadn't even eaten anything of this before then. And so I said, we're going to have to put a shade cloth on top of the insect netting. And I thought, now I'm really going to be good. This is going to get me till fall. Well, we took all of that off like a week ago or something, or no, I guess it was 2 weeks ago. And it was skeletonized. There was not a blade. There was hardly a single blade that had not been eaten. And I think it's not only is it the worms, which I did feature in one of my earlier videos, but it's also caterpillars, the green ones.
Yeah.
And they're that big, and they eat half a
Devour
leaf.
things.
Yeah. So in my very next video, you'll see where that stands right now.
Oh, excellent. We look forward to that for sure.
Yeah.
But so have you had this success with Brussels sprouts before where you're growing? Is this something you've tried
No,
before?
Brussels sprouts take a while.
Mm-hmm.
They really take a while. And it's like my friend Daryl's always saying, there's less bug pressure in the fall than in the spring, but Brussels sprouts take so long and cabbage takes forever. So you don't really have time to get that before it snows.
Right. Yeah, the only thing I've found that's worked out for me in growing Brussels sprouts was getting them started, like you said, in spring and then letting them grow through the summer. But you made the point, it's that you've got to protect them. You got to do whatever you can to protect them the best you can throughout, because the pest pressure is just crazy.
The broccoli, the collards, they're all going to bolt.
Yeah, definitely.
They
And I haven't had a problem with the Brussels sprouts bolting, but the only time I've had good Brussels sprouts that have formed on them is if I've protected them well through that summertime, and then they've had that advanced growing. So once it starts to cool down, they take off and they get going. Once the cool season starts going.
What's going on down there?
Yeah. So again, similar situation. Yeah, I'm always interested in finding out about how people are working or doing their Brussels sprouts, because like you said, they take so long to grow. But they're just one of my favorite things out of a garden if I can get them growing successfully, though.
I know.
I'm one of those people who love them. Yeah.
I know some people hate them, and if you love them, you love them. It's just like beets. Some people hate beets, and I love beets, but I always forget to get them planted. And I was going to plant some beet seed 2 weeks ago, and I haven't done it. I don't know if I got time now. you know.
Right. Yeah. And again, too, it's really how you prepare them, what kind of things you're making, and doing that with these sort of things. There's some things I don't really care for that much, but if you have it a certain way, then it's like right on. That works great.
Yeah, you go to a restaurant, they bring out those caramelized Brussels sprouts that have been roasted, and you just go, "Oh my gosh, give me 100," you know? And then
Yes.
you go home and you got Brussels sprouts sitting there and you go, "I can't make them taste like that," you know?
Right. Yeah, I know. That's what I think probably one of my bigger disadvantages when it comes to all the great stuff that I grow is that I'm really not that good of a cook.
Yeah, see, that's the
So it's
thing.
like that's why I've never really done like cooking type content or tried to show what I make from certain things because most people you don't want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this morning, I was making something I make a lot now, which I didn't make most of my life, but I do now, because there is absolutely nothing better. It's better than ice cream.
Oh yeah.
My southern boiled custard, and you don't boil it, but it's called that. And this is something I've never seen in a restaurant or anywhere except in the South. And in fact, I've never seen it in a restaurant. I've just seen it growing up. We would have it at my mother would have her friends over and we would have it, have a little cup of it or it would be poured over cake. And it's just to die. It's to die for. And now I have milk fresh from the cow. Okay.
Oh yeah.
The milk I bought on Thursday morning was milked on Thursday morning, whole, raw, fresh milk, right? And so this morning I said, okay, I had 2 gallons of this, and I'm going to make some boiled custard and put it in the freezer. Yeah. It does freeze and unfreeze well. And so, but I was trying to do 2 things. I was multitasking. You cannot leave it. You cannot leave it. Once you pour the eggs and the sugar in, you have to stir it until it's done. Well, I thought, I remembered that I hadn't posted my video. I have a regular Saturday video, and I hadn't posted on Facebook and Twitter or X that even though I don't know that many people click through those. I don't think anybody from X does, but I do it anyway, And so I remembered, oh, you haven't posted that, Kaye. Run in there and post it. It'll only take a minute, And I left it. I come back and it's stuck to the bottom. And I'm going, oh. Well, what you can't do is like take the wooden spoon and start scraping it off. You just stir above it. Stir above where it's stuck, So it's delicious. But I already tried it.
Sounds delicious.
But I had to pour it all tediously. I had to pour it all through a strainer to get out the little, pieces that got too cooked on the bottom.
Right.
So it's like,
that's me though too. That's what I'm saying. Nobody wants to see me cooking in the kitchen, man, because I'll tell you what, I'll mess.
Oh, there's
things up in a
Dolores.
second.
Hello, Dolores. Dolores says your custard always looks divine. It's so good. I mean, I had it, and I made my own vanilla. Yeah. So for the first
you growing
time,
your own vanilla bean?
No. I don't even know where they come from Madagascar or someplace.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've never tried or thought of growing them. But...
I think they come from Madagascar, actually.
Yeah.
That's ringing a bell. But anyway, no, it's so simple. You just order really good beans, and then you put them in a tall bottle with a like a reclosable. What do you call those lids? That's wire, and you flip it, and and you drop your you don't even have to do that. You can put them straight into a liquor bottle. You can buy a liter or whatever the amounts are, liquor, vodka. You can use rum, and you can just take the lid off, take some of the liquid out, and put the vanilla beans right in that. But it takes a year.
Oh, wow.
1 year. Yeah. And you're supposed to shake it, but I never remember to do that. So it's so good, because now I did it last November. It's been almost a year.
Oh, that's
So
great.
I really need to start another batch.
Yeah, that sounds great. Something I've never thought of trying. Again, like we were saying though, too, is that or trying certain things that are good. I was thinking of like eggplants. I love growing eggplant in the garden because they're so, such awesome looking plants. I love the
They're
big
so awesome
leaves, the
looking. They're so
flowers.
awesome looking. I
Yeah.
have you ever grown Listata de Gandia?
No, I haven't heard that. I'd got one out there right now that's got a name I can't pronounce for sure. But they're really
They-
cool, almost look like little tomatoes in a way, but they're eggplants, like these little
oh
orange,
yeah, yeah.
orangish red ones. And
Yeah, I tried growing those back in California. I haven't done that in a long time. Listata de Gandia is my favorite. It's so beautiful. It's
yeah,
purple and white stripes.
okay. Yeah, I've got
And
one that's kind of a cream with purple stripes.
that's what I'm talking about. Cream and
This
purple.
one's called Antigua is the variety I got.
Okay. There's more than one
I'm sure, yeah.
of that. But I that's one of the things that did not do well this year because it was planted with something that wasn't it needed what plants next to it didn't need. So I planted it in the wrong place. But I have one in a pot and there's one eggplant on it. And it's now this big. And I'm just gonna it might be the only one I get. So
Right.
I'm gonna really enjoy that meal. And I have a
Yeah.
video. I have a video on how to prepare that. The video is like 5 minutes long. But if you go to eggplant late bloomer, I bet
Yeah.
you it'll come up. Any
Yeah.
any topic, like for example, if you think, I wonder if Kay's got a video on coriander. Put in
Mhm.
coriander late bloomer, and
Yeah.
my video will come up. Or
Yeah.
if it
Or you
or
could
if
just go to your channel and put in the search as well, just coriander, and it should do that as well on your channel search too.
can, but I don't know if it'll search. I don't know if
Yeah.
the search bar will search my channel.
On your
I
channel, it'll
can do
search your
that.
channel, yeah. That's
Oh, it
usually
will?
what I do with folks' channel,
Okay.
like, I'm always checking out Gardner Scott for different information, so I'm, like,
Yeah.
wondering something, so I'll go right to his channel and put it into the search right there too,
Yeah.
which is a good reminder for everybody else out there too who's watching, and if you haven't subscribed or checked out Kay's channel, there are links right down below in this description too, so you can go and check out Kay's channel and, search for, different things that she's growing in the garden there. So I was
Sue
gonna
is
say about that eggplant is that the only thing I've ever eaten was at this Italian restaurant one time. I had this really amazing eggplant parmesan that was so good that I just,
I
and
know.
I know. But other than that, I've tried
It
several other
melts
things I don't really care for too
in your mouth.
much.
It melts in your mouth.
Mm,
Really good
yeah.
eggplant parmesan melts in your mouth.
Yeah, I just
But
need to
but
find a
but
friend who's got a good recipe or something and take some of my eggplants and make some so I could try some again someday
you
because
should
I'm
try my
not confident
recipe.
myself, but I
You
could give
should
it a
try my
try.
recipe. It's so easy. You cannot. It's foolproof.
Is it
Quarter
really?
inch, quarter inch slices. Brush on olive oil on both sides.
Yep.
Put it on a baking tray, parchment paper, and
Okay.
literally salt and pepper. And if you have some herbs de Provence or some little herbs you might sprinkle over it. You don't even have to. But Parmesan cheese is like kind of critical. Okay.
Yeah.
Cheese is critical. You don't have
Cheese,
to have
absolutely.
Parmesan. You could have grated cheese, but you've got to bake it for 10 minutes first before you put the cheese on,
Okay, yeah.
right? Yeah,
All right.
because
Yeah,
it'll
okay,
burn
well, I'm
up.
gonna have to look that up and give it a try when I harvest up some
Yeah.
of these eggplants real soon. And if
Oh,
it
God.
works out, I'll have to make a post or something and let everybody know. I
Oh, there's Marie at
finally
Huntington
figured it out.
Township. I have some friends on, Enoch, Huntington Township.
Yeah.
That's
Again, that's really
Marie.
awesome too, is that we don't do it very often, but we also are streaming over on your channel as well too, which is really great.
And
So
Sue is
seeing a
here.
lot of new names and everything here.
Sue makes hers with bourbon or rum, her vanilla. And Dolores is here. And let me see who else is here real quick. And Ken is here. Ken is here. Ken goes to watches all of my premieres. Let's see. Thank you, Ken. And who else?
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
I've been seeing lots of really great
I was so
names in
busy
here.
talking. I could talk all day about gardening. all day about gardening. Does
Let's see
anybody have a
here. Is
question,
this
for me,
one
or do you have to go?
Sangman? This is a new name. It's great to see you all here.
Enoch, do you have to go, or can we just say, does anybody have a question for me, since I never do lives on my channel?
Right, right. I was gonna say it's
I
been a
haven't done
while
a
since
live
you've
on
done
my
some
channel
live
in a year and
streaming.
a half. Yeah, it's been a very long
We
time.
got Diana here. Diane.
Diane is here. I don't know if
Yeah.
Diane's through me or through you, Enoch.
Could be either way. I get them both here. I'm sure there's folks from either side who aren't seeing some of the other people that are popping up, but yeah, so yeah, that's the case. We're streaming on 2 different channels today.
Oh, wait, Janet McDonald is lit. Did you see this? Can you, Jay, can you put up her comment? That sounds
Is it
so
this one
good.
here?
Yeah, making liqueurs, quick and easy. Then after a couple weeks, do what after a couple weeks? After several months, fun is it fresh tangerine. Okay, you have the tangerine zest sliced and simmered in sugar syrup, cool in good vodka, great color. I would need a little bit more directions, more specific directions on what to do there.
Right.
Hey, son
Yeah,
of a
like
gun!
how
is here
much
from
zest
Phoenix.
do I need, right?
Yeah, hey
All of
Enoch,
those
son of
little
a gun.
particulars.
Jeremy is here from Phoenix. That's son of a gun. Where did I see him? There he is. Yeah. Fabulous Phoenix Gardens is sorry I haven't been in the chat. I'm going back and forth flooding my trees. Yes, that's what you have to do in Phoenix. I was trying to explain. Do you guys know what they do in Phoenix? I mean, only
they've
people that
got like a flood setup, or I can't remember what they call it, but yeah, folks who live in a certain part of Phoenix,
yeah,
they
the old
release
sun-kissed-
water like what I'm not even sure, like it's like once a month maybe or something like that. So you get a big deep watering, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Jeremy, is it once a month? What is it? And Eddie Lyles is asking how the worm buckets are performing. You know, I haven't seen the worms, but every time I open it up, you know, I've been, you know, I'm getting down to the end of the melons, and I have been putting so many melon rinds in there, and every time I go there, every 2 days, it's like down this much. So I guess they're eating it. I haven't dug down in there to see if the worms have really multiplied, but the stuff I'm putting in there is vanishing. That's all I can say.
So they're doing. He says every 2 weeks in the summer.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
so
I've
you
seen
know-
this too. It's like it's just like these. Ditch is not the right word, but that's what comes to mind. That runs through, and it just fills up with water, which floods out like everybody's backyards.
It's so
and
cool.
then it just seeps in and gives everything a deep, deep watering.
Yeah, so I answered Eddie's question. Hello, Eddie, and son of a gun. And let's see, Diane. Hello, Diane is here. And who else?
Lots of great folks here today.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yes. And by the way, great interview, Fresh Princess. I think she's still watching.
Oh yeah, isn't that great? Did you see that?
Yeah, I was
whole
sitting here.
setup she's got. That's pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah. It's. I don't know if I could do it, but anyway, I'm glad somebody is doing it.
Well, I loved her perspective
it needs to
of
be
like
done.
for me is like, you know, growing outdoors in soil and containers and the things that I do and that sort of thing. She's
I
like,
know, but
I was
not
like, I
everybody-
find all of that hydroponic stuff intimidating myself, you know, and the work and the things involved with it. But her perspective is, well, I think the opposite. I find the soil and growing outdoors and all of that being intimidating.
Oh, we have a question from Marie. Marie is asking, flea beetles, the only way is diatomaceous earth. And I talked about this in a recent video, which you might have missed, but you have to reapply it after every rain. So be sure you water your eggplant from ground level and don't spray water over the top.
Yeah.
But you know, if you don't keep that powder on there, they'll just decimate the leaves, and then you won't get any eggplants. So I buy the food grade. You don't need to. It's more expensive. You don't need to.
Is there what's the difference for food grade and I guess agricultural?
Well, I mean, food grade means that you can actually put it in your animal feed, or I think you can even eat it, but I'm not
Mhm.
sure what it's good for. But
Yeah, I've heard that folks use
thank
that
you,
in
Eddie.
different things. Right on, right on. Excellent. So what you got coming up here on Late Bloomer? How things kind of going all there as you're moving towards fall and all of that?
Well, what I want to do is I just this summer was so intense that I abandoned what I started in the spring. Was I hired my website guy to like revamp even though I really love the way my website looks, it's been that way for 10, 12 years. And so I was going to have a simpler format. I mean, look at Mary at Mary's Nest. She has a very simple website. It's just a white background with pictures and titles, but it's a very working website, so that she has all her merchandise and her books and her this and that and all of this stuff. And she has a newsletter that goes out every week religiously, and all of these kinds of things drive traffic to your website, which is where you make money. You don't necessarily make money on YouTube because, you know,
It
the number of
seems to get
ads.
more and more difficult, as we keep moving along, and they seem to be adding all these new features and all that sort of stuff. The one thing I'm really, I wish YouTube would do a little bit more is for those of us who focus a lot on live streaming and all of that, that they would do a lot more, promotion within their algorithms to do that sort of stuff. But I'm on a similar situation too. I got to get my website fixed back up. We got to get it back and running, because like you were saying, we're looking to make some money around here. We got to really have that set up. And one of the things that I've been learning more about, that folks have been telling me too, is that it's one of the most important things you could be doing, is something that we've been, and people in business on the internet have been doing since the internet went mainstream a couple decades ago, is email collection. You got to be getting emails. You got to be offering people something so that you can get emails and have that sort of connection through that, because that's still one of the most important ways to be able to stay connected with people.
You can't stress that enough, because if all of this goes away, YouTube, whatever, we don't know what's going to happen. And so at least you've got an email address.
Yeah, and that's,
you still need the internet for email, but
it's still the I don't know, the best method ultimately, and it's the original method. We got all this new stuff over these years that keep popping up and all of that, but it still comes back to making sure you're connecting with people and those who are following you with your emails and all that. So I'm on a similar path myself, trying to get my website fixed back up, possibly starting up a newsletter type of thing to get set up, so that and have some other things to be able to offer folks as well too through that. But it's a lot of work though, and I don't have a web developer.
I don't. He's not a web developer. But the thing is, once you have a website that is that has a store and that has all of this stuff, then it's not just your website. You've got to have MailChimp.
Right.
Well, MailChimp goes
or
up.
one of those type of things. Yeah.
When I got MailChimp initially, it was like $15 a month. Well, guess what it is now? $100 a month. So
exactly, they get you in on this stuff. They get you liking liking it and used to using it, so you don't want to try other things, and then they jack the price on you.
If you're not sending out an email every week like Mary is, then you're losing money, because that's what MailChimp is built for, is keeping in touch with your subscribers. Anyway, Janet is going to send me a more quantified. I love that word. Did you know? Let's talk about something for a second. Did you know that AI is intentionally removing the number of words of our language from common use? So, in other words, every time you read an AI summary or whatever, you're not going to see any words like quantified. She just used the
Right.
word quantified.
Isn't that great?
Okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
we gotta keep that part of our language going,
Right,
man.
they're
You
gonna
know.
have us down to like 10 words, and we're just all gonna be saying, "Hey, yeah, okay."
Well, there's a big, without getting into all of that sort of stuff, there's just a big movement to, dumb us down is basically what it is. That's
I
what,
know.
everybody wants us dumbed down. So we got to keep that stuff alive and keep that rolling. Keep using great, cool words from our English language, like
Like
quantify.
quantified. I
Yep,
like that.
yep.
Thank you, Janet.
That's so
You
great.
made our day.
Right on, right on. Well, Kay, you've made my day too by coming here and hanging out with us and coming and joining back on
Oh
the
my
show.
gosh.
It's just so awesome.
Jeremy just said, listen to this. Jeremy just said the flood irrigation line misses his property by one house. What?
What? Oh, whoa.
You mean
That's
you
right, yeah.
don't get it? Or you do get it? It
Mi-
misses your property by one house.
Oh,
It
wow.
goes to his next door neighbor, then across the street and down.
Wow.
Oh.
So he's paying a big high water
So
bill.
when you said you were flooding your yard, you were doing it on your own, right? You weren't getting that free water. I'm assuming that's
Wow.
free water, right? For the Phoenix people who are
I
lucky
think
enough.
so, yeah.
So
Boy, there's got to be a way you I'd get me a big old pipe.
yeah.
Run that from my neighbor's house, and I'd
What's
be
your
like,
neighbor like?
just
Do
a
you
little
do?
downslope. You just need a slight downslope pipe
Yeah.
right into your yard.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Get one of those
Yeah.
big old, like 8-10 inch ones, or something.
Yeah,
That's
it
definitely
does.
where mine would
Dusty
be for
says
sure.
hands off YouTube. Yeah. We'll
Mhm.
see. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Diane says we'll be robots before we know it. That's right.
MK says, yeah, MK says, no, we won't. No, I refuse. And whatever you do, don't get one of those little robot vacuum cleaners. Okay.
Oh, right, right. Those things. Yeah, yeah.
Hear the story? Did you hear the story?
I
They're
don't
made in
know.
China and they're Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth in the vacuum cleaner communicates with the server, which is in China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's everything, man. When you hooked up, when we, just the idea, you have to really be off
Thank you,
grid
Jay.
on a certain sense too, when it comes down to being disconnected. It's like all of our information, when
Yeah,
it comes down to it. Once you
Dusty
load
just said-
yourself up onto the internet or you do any sort of banking through an online banking system like that, everyone has your information. You can't hide it from people if you're connected online. You just can't. And these corporations out there are selling that information to and from each other all over the place. So in the long run, it's unavoidable, really, in the long run.
Yeah, I'm seeing Jeremy's comment here. He's tried everything to get the water, and the people who get the water pay $100 a year, and he paid $400 a month last month for water.
Oh my. That's something. Yeah, I'd be getting to my neighbor and be like, hey,
You're welcome,
I'll give you
Marie.
$50 if you let me hook up this pipe from your property. Split the bill with them. Boy, oh boy, yeah. That's just something else.
No smart thermostat in this house.
One interesting thing, I was watching this one of those content creator folks out there that help give you tips and all of that. They were talking about some new YouTube things and everything. And one of the things that YouTube is rolling out this next year is doing languages. So, where things are being played in other countries and all that sort of stuff. So it'll dub in a new language, right? But the AI, so it doesn't look all funky like when you're watching those, foreign films and all of that, and it just doesn't match up, right? The AI is going to match our lip movement, so it looks like we're actually speaking that foreign language. So it doesn't look odd to people who are watching it in other countries.
Do we have any say in that?
That's just the tip of the iceberg on this sort of stuff and where we're heading with all of that sort of stuff. It's hard to believe when it comes down to the capabilities of some of this stuff. But when you really put it in perspective and think, well, if they're able to do this now, just imagine the things they're going to be doing in the future. And again, really the only way to get around it or avoid it ultimately is to go and just get disconnected. And who really wants to be disconnected?
Well, the
from
problem
everything, really.
to disconnect from everything means that we can't bank.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole thing too,
How they
especially
control
as corporations are moving us to a cashless society, those sort of things. And again, we're getting into all these other crazy topics like we go on and on and on about, and it's definitely not gardening for a gardening show, but it's pretty wild, the things out there though, when you really think
I know
about it.
Ken said you can't trust what you see on a video anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. You have to be, I was talking with someone just earlier today, who, they had posted something. I says, yeah, that's not actually real. And I was like, well, we've really got to be more vigilant with how we research and how we're looking up things and making sure that what we're looking at or reading and is actually true. And it's hard to figure that
Well,
out,
it's
but,
hard to know
but
that.
at the same time,
Yeah.
yeah, like you
I
said,
mean,
it's hard to
look at
imagine or crazy to imagine where we're actually going to be going, as they can be more and more manipulative too. But
Jersey
yeah,
Girl says she pays $15 a month, and my friend in LA pays 18. She's been doing that for years. 18 a month to not have a smart meter. You have to opt out. You have to pay to opt out. And her power bills are not as expensive like everyone else's.
Oh yeah, there it is.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But like I said, there's one way or another. Like I said, if you're connected on the internet one way or another, there's data breaches that we hear about all the time, and that means that there are data breaches that have happened you don't even know about yet. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, any sort of connection online is going to give your information to everybody. You gotta,
Eddie,
and again, there's those protection type places that you can get to that'll protect your information and do that. I'm still not even sure if they really can do that as well.
Eddie just said that I saw that comment, but we were talking about something else. He commented about a purchase at Harbor Freight and immediately got an ad from them. So, what is your browser, Eddie? I'm just curious. What browser do you use?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, it's just so many things too. And when it comes down to it, even the browsers, those sort of things, there's some that work on certain protection things, but then again, you start to hear about and things that, there was a breach or there was this and that of certain stuff. Hackers can get into anything if they really want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the kind of cost of living in a high-tech world. But anyways, we got to get moving on here today, but it's just,
it was fun.
It's just so awesome to be able to have you back on the show again. And
Eddie,
like I said, it's always great to hang out with you. I just really love it.
Let me just tell Eddie to check on your phone and see what is your default browser. There will be a default browser. And my browser, I don't get ads.
Yeah.
So
right on.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for being here, and thanks for hanging out. Like I said, it's always great. And everybody, again, if you haven't had a chance to check out Kaye's channel or go over there and subscribe, definitely get on the link down below that we have in the description and go over there, subscribe, go check out whatever recent videos, go let her know that you saw her here on the Let's Get Growing show. And again, thank you to your audience as well too. We've been streaming over on your channel and everyone else who's been catching what we've got going on here.
I clicked off of mine because I didn't want to hear like an echo or something. So
right.
Thank you,
But yeah,
everyone.
if you're following from Kaye's channel as well too, come over and check us out. We're here every Saturday and Sunday for some really great conversations with some really awesome shows coming up. And right on, Kaye. Again, thank you so much. You betcha.
All right. God bless
All right.
everybody.
Bless you for sure. Right on.
Hi. My name is Charles Malky, biologist and plant expert with Ivory Organics, where we grow cool plants and author Saving the World with the Home Garden. Ivory Organic 3-in-1 Plant Guard has 7 natural oils that protect your plants, not just from the summer heat as well as winter cold, but also protects your plants from damaging insects and rodents. The oils in the product include castor, cinnamon, clove, garlic, peppermint, rosemary, and spearmint. These oils are natural insect and rodent repellent oils, which are encapsulated by the base powder, offering your plants months of protection at a time. One application per year will suffice for protection against damaging summer sunburn and winter sun scald, but if the target is pests, application as much as 2 to 3 times a year may be necessary.
All right, all right. There we are again. Another really great show here on our Saturday show. Really, really awesome guests today. Kaye Kittrell, late bloomer, and Natalie over at the Fresh Princess. Really awesome conversations today. And again, definitely go check out their links down below so you can go check out their channels and then go let them know you saw them here on Let's Get Growing. And as I mentioned earlier too, we were live at Fig Festival last week. You'll want to go and check out our very first live event show. It was so much fun. We had a bunch of really great guests join with us and talk all about all sorts of stuff from beekeeping to biochar and all sorts of stuff. So definitely go and check out last week's live show. And then this next week, you definitely want to come back here next Saturday. This next week, we have joining with us. I've been looking forward to this show too for a while. We've got Amy Stewart joining with us next week. And Amy Stewart has written so many really awesome gardening books. And I can't wait to talk to her all about some of my favorites and just garden writing in general. And then we're also going to have with us Farmer Marshall. Urban Gardener is going to be with us. We see Farmer Marshall in our chat each and every week. So it'll be really awesome to get to meet him for the first time here this next Saturday. So definitely come and check out this next Saturday show as well as this next Sunday. We're getting started with our monthly gardening book club. It's the third Sunday of the month in our monthly gardening book club. We're doing 2 books this month. So we're going to do the third Sunday and the fourth Sunday this month. And we are basically doing a back to school kind of special for our book club this month and talking all about kids gardening books and gardening education. As you all know, our co-host for the book club, our good friend, Mr. Mark Boucher Colbert, Mr. MBC. He's a garden educator and he teaches young kids all about gardening at his school there in Portland, Oregon. So it's going to be a great conversation with our guests. This next Sunday will be our first book. We're going to be featuring a very young kids book, See Marcus Grow, with Marcus Bridgewater from Garden Marcus. And Marcus published his very first kids book there, See Marcus Grow, all about him growing up in his grandmother's garden. So we're going to have Marcus with us this next Sunday to talk about the See Marcus Grow and all about, again, gardening education, back to school, all of that. And then on the fourth Sunday, coming up the Sunday after, we'll have with us Dr. Vikram Baliga, the plant prof. He'll be joining with us to talk about his book, Plants to the Rescue, for the little older kids from there. It's a really great book. Lots and lots of really awesome plant science in his book there. And Vikram is also a professor at Texas Tech, and he teaches agriculture to college students as well too. So we're gonna have this whole plethora from very young kids to college students. We're going to talk all about gardening education starting this next weekend. So you won't want to miss out on those shows. Definitely come and check those out. And before we head out today, let's do it again. Let's hit that like button, hit the thumbs up, as well as subscribe and hit the bell notification to be notified of all of our upcoming videos and live streams every Saturday and Sunday here at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. for all of you over in the UK, and really, really early, like 4 or 5 in the morning for our folks over in Australia as well too. But definitely come and check us out. Share with all of your garden friends out there as well too. Let them know about all these wonderful guests that we get to talk to each and every weekend. And like I said, definitely check out all of the links down below. And also, definitely thank you to everybody who has been donating to the show over the last couple of months. I really appreciate all of your donations. You've really helped out big time, for one, and help us get back online with our new computer. So I really appreciate everybody who's donated, and continue to donate if you can, as we are collecting and trying to set up more and more of those feature live shows at different events. I've got some events I'd love to go attend and to do some live shows from as well too. So all of your donations will help us do more and more really cool things right here on the Let's Get Growing show. So again, thank you all so much for being here. I really look forward to seeing all of you for another really, really great show this next week, and also tomorrow. I said tomorrow. Did I mention it? Yeah, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow is our next is our first garden book. I think I said next Sunday, but it's actually tomorrow. I better make sure I clarify that before we head out. So tomorrow is our Sunday edition with Marcus Bridgewater in our first book club, and then next week is Dr. Vikram Baliga for that book club as well too. So again, we'll see all of you tomorrow.
All right, they're gonna run. See you on the flippy flops.